Well, this here is the new Mercedes GLC. It's a car which takes on the likes of the Audi Q5 and the BMW X3. And Mercedes has recently updated this car with a raft of changes. The biggest change, of course, is the addition of ADAS features, ADAS level 2 features, both radar based as well as camera based. But there are lots of other things to talk about. Uh, what are those changes? I'll tell you in this video. My name is Ashish Masih. If you've come to this channel for the first time, Times Drive English, then please subscribe to it. If you want to watch Hindi content, then please subscribe to our other channel, Times Drive. We put the link in the box below. Now let's get started with the Mercedes GLC. Well, so let's start off with the looks of this car. Now, this car looks really posh, premium, and very elegant from a distance. The front end is typical of Mercedes designs. You, of course, get this chrome finish around the grille, and you also get this new horizontal slats, double slats on the grille, big Mercedes logo here, another one over here on the bonnet. Lots of chrome on the lower part of the bumper as well, and of course, very designer-like and very stylish looks for the headlamps as well. You, of course, get LED lamps over here, and if you move on to the side, you get a very nice looking design for the alloy wheels. These, of course, are running on 19-inch wheels, which really does look very good and give this car a very good stance as well. You, of course, have a running board over here on the side and a little bit of a step over here for passengers to get in and out of. And apart from that, the side angle is more or less the same from the original car, which was launched around 4 years ago. Back angle, again, you get that typical Mercedes design, which looks really cool, very premium and very posh. And of course, you also get chrome finishing towards the lower part of the bumper here as well. Fake exhaust over here because the exhausts are down below, but you do get this little design which makes it look like the exhausts are placed over here. Anyways, what do you think of this car's looks? You can let me know in the comment section below. Now let's jump inside the cabin and show the interiors and then take this car for a drive. Well, so now I'm in the cabin of the Mercedes GLC, and this really is the best cabin at this price point. If you're in the market to buy an Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes, then my suggestion is to simply go for the Mercedes. If you like premium, high quality interiors, there's absolutely no issues about it in terms of either the quality, either the features, or even the ambience. Everything is very well laid out. You get completely digital dials over here, which look really fancy. You get this huge touchscreen, which is in vertical shape, and it controls all the main features of this car: the infotainment, the apps, the media, even the off-road comfort settings, as well as the vehicle settings. So it really does control all the lights and the other features, as well as the ADAS feature that this car has to offer. And that is something which is quite good because you don't get those plethora of buttons which confuse you. And of course, you do get a few buttons over here as well. So these are the things which you get on this car. AC vents over here, 3 of them, and of course you can rotate them around to turn them on or off. The lights inside the AC vents go and change their colors if you decide to raise the temperature up or down. And of course, this wood finish also looks really neat and very tidy, very cool interior actually. Feels youthful, it feels modern, and it also feels very posh as well as classy. It's a very elegant place to be in. And of course, the seat adjustment is over here on the door panel. Lots of features to talk about. You of course get ESP, you get Parktronic, you also get active lane keep assist, among other things. And of course, you get active brake assist, active blind spot assist, as well as a host of other features which really do make this car feel very safe as well as secure. The seats themselves are very good in terms of comfort. Overall, a fantastic place to be. Only one minor negative, it's not really a negative, it's an irritant, and that is that the steering wheel controls are all touch feel, and sometimes when you're turning around, and sometimes when you're doing a lot of emergency braking or maybe honking, then you might hit some of them and activate something like maybe you might bump up the volume or you might accidentally bump up the cruise control. So these are things which can be a little irritating, but overall it's just a minor irritant, not really a deal breaker. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that is. The front seat gets a very good score of 10 out of 10. Well, I'm in the backseat of the GLC, and I have to say that this is a good place to be. If you're someone who's buying his car just to be chauffeur-driven, then even then, this is a fantastic place. The front seat has been adjusted for my height and driving position, and even then, loads of knee room, plenty of headroom, and of course, you get 2 sunroofs, one for the front end, one for the back end, and it really makes the car's cabin feel much more airy, much more brighter than it already is. nice and large windows, and of course you also get these blinds in case you're not in the mood to see outside and just doze off to sleep. And the seat angle also is quite good. The hip and knee angle is good, and of course you also get an armrest over here. It doesn't get beverage holders, but it does get this little tray where you can keep your cell phone and maybe watch that movie when you're on the move. I'll give the back seat a very good score of 9 out of 10. Now let's check out the boot, and then let's take this car out for a drive. Well, now let me quickly show you the boot of this car, because that's also something a lot of people care about. It's a power tailgate, which means you need to press this button and it lifts up on its own. You don't have to really exercise, and it's a very wide and nicely shaped boot. The plus point is that the loading sill is quite low and there's absolutely no intrusion, so you can easily even those big bags and take them out. In case you have a large piece of suitcase, in case you're planning to go up to Srinagar, maybe Leh Ladakh in this car, then you can even take your skis. How can you do that? Well, all you do is simply press this button, and the back seat or the back rest of the seats go down, and you get a huge loading area. You can of course remove the carpet area and see for yourself that becomes very nice, as well as a completely flat loading area. So in case you're planning to buy a fridge or maybe even an air conditioner, then you can easily take the entire carton, the entire packaging with it, and keep it inside this car without any fuss. It's not something that I'd recommend you do in a Mercedes, but if you really want to, you can. I'll give the boot and the luggage carrying capacity of this car a strong score of 9 out of 10. Now let's jump in the driver's seat and take this car out for a drive. Well, so here I am driving the new Mercedes GLC, and I have to say that this car really is fantastic in terms of the refinement. Yes, today we've got the diesel version. There's also petrol, but we've got the diesel 220d today for you, and it is a fantastic engine in terms of refinement. In fact, it will be very hard pressed to tell if it's a diesel or a petrol motor which is powering it. It is that good in terms of the driving. The cabin also is really well cocooned. It's really isolated from all the noises outside, and once you're inside the cabin and shut the doors, really all those noises, they just filter out of the cabin. Very minimal intrusion in terms of the noise levels inside the cabin, so that's also something very positive on the GLC. What you'll also appreciate is the fact that this diesel engine doesn't really become too loud even when you rev it up hard. So even if you take it up to about 3000 rpm, you want a quick acceleration, even then it remains largely quiet. It's only after 3500 rpm that sometimes you can feel a little bit of engine noise in the cabin, but below that it really feels quite good. What's also very good about this car is the fact that it gets a 9-speed automatic gearbox, not a 7 or 8-speed, and that extra gear, or those extra gears, basically means that the overall flexibility of the engine is greatly enhanced. So maybe you're doing speeds of about 100 or 110 kph on the highway, the engine is spinning at a relatively low RPM of maybe about 1700, 1800 RPM, which makes the cabin again feel very well isolated and very quiet from all the noises and all the disturbances on the outside. So it really is a fantastic cabin to be in. It is quite an engaging car to drive. Yes, of course, Mercedes cars do err on the side of comfort, and they are oriented towards comfort. But that said, there is some fun to be had even in this car, because the overall driver involvement is good. The steering wheel is quite nice and agile, and of course you can change the settings over here. You can put it into sport mode, and if you do that, then the engine becomes a little more aggressive, it growls a little bit more, and of course the steering wheel also adds a little more weight into itself, so that also becomes a little better in terms of the overall communication. What else is there? Well, the ride quality is absolutely first rate. It's the best car in its segment for sheer ride quality. It just softens out all those badly passive roads, all those rumble strips, and even the hardest of hard crevice is just kept out of this cabin. So it really is very good in that department. At faster speeds, you do feel very confident. You feel a sense of stability, and I think that unlike its rivals, which definitely have a slightly stiff setup in their suspension, this one just irons out all those bumps and patches without any problem whatsoever. If you are someone who drives himself, you'll really appreciate this car, because the bottom line is visible. The side view mirrors are nice and chunky. You of course get systems like blind spot assist and stuff, and of course this huge roof also adds a sense of airiness to the cabin. So in general terms, people who buy their cars for the first time, SUVs for the first time, they do sometimes fear that maybe they've got the wrong car, maybe they'll have some difficulties driving it, but it's not the case with this Mercedes GLC. So this is my brief video review of this car. What do you think of this car in terms of looks, in terms of the interiors, in terms of features? You can let me know in the comment section below. And as I said before, if you've come to this channel for the first time, Times Drive English, then please do subscribe to it, because we've got a lot more content coming up for you, and we'll definitely keep you engaged as well as entertained with our content. Anyways, let me stop the car now, give you some pros and cons, and after that, wrap up this video and tell you the summary report. Well, the Mercedes GLC really is the best in its class. It really offers you the best mix of luxury, comfort, performance, as well as driving pleasure, along with a great set of features, as well a premium rich interior. So overall, if you're in the market with this kind of budget for your first ever luxury SUV, then the GLC is the best bet out there.